Am I the a-hole for accidentally triggering my GF? For a little backstory, I've been dating my girlfriend Jess for 3 years. We have a great relationship. Early on, we had several big fights and went to couples counseling. We ended up going for 4 months and worked through everything and came up with healthy ways to communicate. Another crucial part of the backstory, about 2 months after ending therapy, Jess's dad died. Jess didn't tell me for almost 2 weeks, which really hurt, but I knew that they didn't have a good relationship. But Jess had always said that she wasn't comfortable saying anything beyond that and asked for me to let it lie, which of course I accepted. Flash forward to this week, I was starting up a big study. I work as a PhD psychology TA with my students for their final. It's a study on aversion therapies, aka exposure to things people dislike. I wanted to do a real life example, so I asked my girlfriend if I could test it out on her. She said yes. In retrospect, I think she assumed this would be a food-based study, but I chose to focus on smell instead. She's always hated the smell of lavender, to the point that her eyes water and she runs out of the room when she smells it. So I thought this was the natural choice for my study. Yesterday morning, I started by adding a single scented bead to our laundry. I couldn't even smell it when the clothes were dry. Then I bought scented soap and poured a bit down the drain in our shower. Next, I rubbed a scent pot on the sides of our mattress and on the shelves in our closet and pantry. I could barely tell it was there even from a foot away. But the point was subtlety. When my girlfriend got home from work yesterday, she was off right away. She kept glancing back and forth. She looked really scared. Her breathing picked up. I tried to talk to her, but she just used our fight safe word and walked into our room and shut the door. A few minutes later, I heard the shower turn on. I started getting dinner ready, but then I heard sobbing and ran into our bathroom. She was curled up on the floor, shaking, clawing at her arms. It was terrifying. I got her out of the shower and into our bed, but she couldn't stop shaking. She's had panic attacks in the past, but this was on a level I'd never seen before, and no matter what I said or did, she couldn't stop. I was about to call 911 when I remembered the lavender I'd put everywhere, so I scooped her up and brought her into the guest room/office. She was able to breathe there and calm down enough to talk to me. She ended up falling asleep in the guest room, so I immediately cleaned up every source of the smell and rewashed our clothes and bed sheets. She woke up at like 6 a.m. today. Panic attacks drained her, and I told her what I'd done. I thought she'd be upset, but she was furious. She said I knew that lavender was her biggest trigger. I absolutely didn't know that. All I knew was that she didn't like it, and that I triggered her back to really horrible experiences involving her dad from childhood, which she had never told me happened. I felt awful and tried to apologize, but she just packed a bag and left. She texted me earlier and said she couldn't trust me anymore and that she'd be going to stay with her sister for a while. Now the sister and 2 of Jess's friends are flooding my phone with texts about how horrible and abusive I am. But she genuinely never told me that lavender was a trigger or that she had traumatic experiences linked to it. I don't know how to fix this. I love her so much and didn't mean for any of this to happen. So, am I the a-hole?